And well, good morning. Welcome to B Cube Sunday morning.
Hi,
And,
everyone.
you'll see down there we got Cliff here with us today. We have not. Um, I've been a little uh,
Busy.
distracted. Well, I got the book, and then my sweet potato is sick,
I'm sorry to hear
and
that.
we're. You gotta say when somebody falls in the middle of the night and you're getting up to do what old men do, and that's go to the bathroom, and you um, notice that your wife is laying on the floor. It gets your attention,
Yeah.
and so you kind of go take care of her. And then the joy of just um, finding out that she's got a low blood sugar problem. Okay, you can fix that. We got the tools, right? Except for the doctor won't. Um, he doesn't like um, continuous glucose monitors. The kind that wake you up in the middle of the night and tell you if you're in having a problem.
Yeah, why
Bless,
not?
yeah, bless his heart. I now I have my just got my email. My please rank your visit with this doctor. I'm saving it till I've got about 20 minutes to do some um,
Ranking.
right. But I'm not just here to complain about the uh, doctors. I'm here to figure out one of my other great pet peeves in the world, and you know I have a few, and that is that I use Restream. It's a pretty good system, and while I like it, I don't like the fact that it seems like now every month, as soon as they notice that you're flawlessly navigating their system, they uh,
We
do
love
it
M
again.
dashes at
Yeah,
BQ.
they go and change it. And so now I am desperately searching my menu for where is my chat
Oh,
people.
yeah, I found it on the bottom right in
Well, that's
Firefox.
where it used to be for
I guess
me.
it hasn't updated for the Mac Firefox yet, maybe. I don't know. It's the same interface for me.
Well, it could be maybe I don't know, but I will tell you what. As soon as I find it, we can get into that
All
because
right.
right now,
I'm
go ahead.
reading the chat. I'm reading the chat.
Okay, you can read the
So we
chats.
got Andrew, David, and Cheryl have said hello.
Good
And
morning.
Andrew asked about the M dash, and I said we love M dashes here
Oh,
at BQ.
let's talk about the M dash before we get into all the good stuff.
Andrew, you have set the direction of this morning show for the next few minutes. Go ahead, talk about M dashes. I love M dashes. I
I
even love
think that
N dashes.
what?
I love N dashes, M dashes, slashes, hyphens.
Well,
You
let's
name
just
it.
talk about the M dash right now
Okay.
because you know what I found about the M dash. 5 years ago, it was virtually unknown. You know, it was there, but people didn't use it a lot. It
I
wasn't.
used it before it was cool.
Yeah, and you were country before country was cool.
Actually, yeah,
Uh,
I am from Tennessee, dude.
well, I'm from Texas, and you know what, Willie Nelson? He got the saying of the week this week.
What do you say?
He said, "You know why divorces are so danged expensive?
Why?
They're worth it."
I I actually honestly from my first wife I got my divorce in Texas, so that tracks.
Yeah. I mean, you just had to laugh about that one because.
Willie Nelson is a national treasure, as is Dolly Parton, and I will not be taking questions.
No, Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton are both. I mean, I can still remember watching back home when I was growing up. You watched the TV if we were one of those periods of time where we had TV, and that's you watched what my aunt Wanda wanted to watch, and she liked Porter Wagner.
Mm.
And Porter Wagner had this young woman that he had on his show named Dolly Parton. I
predict she's going places.
Yeah, she had a fairly good career, and like all of us, she reaches the. I am just damn lost, not able to watch this chat. So when I find it, I'm going to be happy.
Okay, why don't you fix your interface and I'll talk a little bit. How's that?
Well, I wasn't done talking yet.
Oh,
I know you. You are the. But anyhow, the M dash. I'll finish that, and then I'm going to cut over to you to talk about Memphis. Okay. No, the M dash has become the say all and end all of. I'm not sure what would be the right punctuation mark here. Do I need a semicolon? A comma? Am I putting in a comma clause?
I recommend semicolons. They're on the home row of the keyboard for a reason. And that reason is nobody uses them. But anyway.
The keyboard, and now they're the dominant. Well, I have a style guide. Anybody who's wanting to write for BQ Press or just write spectacularly, it's up to you.
You cannot do both.
Oh, you can. I may because I have a style guide that says this is how I'm going to edit your story. A lot of and I tell my editors this. You know what? Let the writer do anything they want with the M dash. Pretty much. We're not the M dash police. But if they're going to do it, they're going to do it consistently. An M dash is not two N dashes. An M dash does not have a space before it nor after it. Okay? Little things like that. You want to do your M dashes, do them because it's part of the creative nature. It helps you find your voice. It's very good at that. And I believe in letting writers find their voice until I decide, here, let me help. And the M dash is a powerful tool. Just use it the way you want it. Because, for example, if a claw hammer works because the claws are the same for that style of claw hammer, the claws are there. They're not pointing up. They're not pointing sideways. They're just where they are. And so therefore it's consistent, more or less. Do the same with your M dashes. And if you don't, I will fix it. And then
and nobody wants that.
Oh, come on. You know how many dozens and dozens of emails I get every decade that tell me that what I've done to their story is just incredible. Oh, I've kept them. There's almost a dozen of them since we started BQ
over all these years. That's not bad.
I mean, I like the fact that people don't feel the need to overdo it. So anyway, let me introduce an issue, though. Our Supreme Court, I saw a cartoon that took the Iwo Jima
and put a Confederate flag.
A Confederate flag on there.
And 6 justices.
and the 6 justices of the fascist court.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the balls to say the court isn't political. I'm sorry. When they said, if you ever made a district, if you have a district that is majority black, you can now go get rid of that district, and you should, to conform to the law. And so, yeah, if you want to find out how stupid that is, go to a state like Louisiana, where it's something like, and I'm not trying to be the know everything, but about 28%, 25% African American, and tell them that if you have 6 congressmen, 2 of them cannot be black, um, because that's illegal. Making the district so that the 25% of your population gets equal representation. No, no, no. You have to stop that. And so what did they do? They freaking canceled or delayed the election so they would have time to get rid of black candidates who were likely to win. This is not American. This is fascism at its best. Um, I mean, what's the point, people? You just can't keep doing that. And then there's one other place where they got even worse on this. And I'm going to defer to Cliff here. Cliff, tell us about your hometown of Memphis.
Yep, I am from Memphis, Tennessee. And there in Memphis, we have a couple of state representatives who were there in Memphis recently, and that is the Justins, right? Justin Jones and Justin J. Pearson. And there were lots of Justin. It's on my Facebook background picture is Justin Jones burning a Confederate flag. Or an image of a Confederate flag. And both of those guys were at the outside the chamber where they were redistricting away Tennessee's one black district. Now you got to understand Memphis. Memphis is unfortunately a very, racially segregated city. There's a lot of racism in Tennessee. Who knew, right? And it's a majority black city. There are a lot of African Americans, and there as a result, one congressional district in Tennessee in Memphis that is majority black, and that reflects the population demographics of Tennessee. And so there's a little callback there from earlier. And so, they just, in the wake of the Supreme Court decision, they redistricted that away. And the Justins were out protesting, and there's all these very creepily early 1960s style images of, these guys facing off with white state troopers and a white, I think, sergeant at arms, keeping them out of the chamber where a bunch of white guys were wiping out a black district. So it's pretty infuriating. Most of, if not all of my friends who are still in Memphis are furious about it. The rest of us who are no longer in Memphis are furious about it. It feels very personal, So there you go. That's the story in a nutshell. It is the completely anticipatable, practical upshot of the Supreme Court ruling. And we have a URL from Amy, which is to a Facebook thing. So that is a really good. It's a video, and I think it's worth watching. I've seen it, so people can check that out after the show.
And
Thank you,
here's
Amy.
what they did is called cracking. You take a district that has got, say, mostly Democrats in it, uh, or mostly, people that'll tend to vote as a block that the Republicans don't want them voting as a block. Uh, so they took this naturally occurring all black district, not created as a consequence of the Section 2 of the Civil Rights Act, and they broke it up to end the existence of a majority black district, and dumped it broke it into three different districts where they put the voters of Tennessee into majority, or the voters of Memphis into majority white districts, where they were virtually guaranteed to never see another black member of the House again, from Memphis. Now, if you take the Supreme Court's ruling at face value that says, you know what, let's not let race be the way we make our districts.
Sounds good on paper, doesn't it? But no.
Oh, no. Well, no, actually, if they did that, it would work well. But that's the thing. They didn't do that. They acted on the basis of race, only on the basis of the majority race. And so now we have virtually every state that was ever part of the Slavers' Rebellion, or they like to call it the Civil War, but I know exactly what it was. It was a bunch of slave owners trying to preserve slavery so their daughters could go to their cotillions and stuff. But that's just they're changing. They changed it in reverse of what the principles of America are. If you ask me, what are the basic criteria that they say for congressional districts? They should be compact, use the local population. If you have an area that's all farmers, you should try and keep the farmers together where possible. If, so that you don't break up and dilute. And then, but the compaction is key. I think it was the 8th in Memphis, or the 9th, I forget.
I don't remember the number.
Was very compact. And now those voters have their congressman stretching halfway across the state.
Now, if you look at a gerrymandered map, it looks geographically ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right.
As opposed to what you had before, which was compact. And so my thought is this. We build a computer program. I'm told that Elon Musk could do that for us by going over to his and hiring somebody to do it, putting his name at the bottom, saying it's brilliant, But say, oh, okay, let's go out here. Let's take these criteria first. Let's pick a center point. Okay, boom. Now, working out from that point, keeping in mind not sex of the voters, not past voting history of the voters, but just merely population and common threads that tie them together. Okay.
Demographic information.
Demographics. No, not demographics. I don't care how many men you got. I don't care how many women you got. I don't care what the common.
So economic groupings?
Yeah, I'm really not excited about that. I just say, shit, just go out until you get that 435,000 people you need for a district, regardless of that. And if that's consistent with the rivers that separate here, we've got here.
So geographic.
The geographic, yeah, you keep the geographics. Guess what? and you tell that program to do that, and you don't give any analysis of who the likely voters are going to be. They want that. They say they want that until you let that work happen. And then they find out, wow, two Republicans are going to lose their seats.
The
Or,
horror.
yeah. And so, no, stop the games. Just do it that way and let it land where it lands. Um, and that's the end. That should be the end of it. That is your congressional district. And guess what? In a state where you've got 40% African American voters, you could actually maybe wind up with one or two African American congressmen. And to
Could
that,
happen.
so what? It's not like that's a bad thing. You could wind up where the people wanting to run are mostly women. Not a bad thing. You could wind up with some ultra right wing Republicans who uh, who's made their make their living in horrendous ways, who live on a plantation where they so what? It's not You're not doing a moral test of the candidates. You're doing equal opportunity within that district to be represented. Now, uh, I don't know if that is oh yeah, court laws and uh, Supreme Court uh, rulings mean nothing to the Democrat or the Republicans until they uh, get it the way they want it. Now they pretty much got it the way they wanted. What is it, Cliff? We got right now in the Supreme Court.
Uh, you mean 6 conservative judges and 3 not conservative judges? A supermajority of conservative judges?
Yeah, and how did we get that?
Oh, gee, there's this guy named Mitch that used
Moscow
to be.
Mitch.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
Um, so I mean, we also had to, in order to get this court, we had to get a couple of alleged sexual offenders in there, that sort of thing. But it doesn't matter because it got the result that they wanted. Um, so yeah. Anyway, a couple things. Amy, don't worry about derailing. You did not. You were on topic. Let's see. Andrew Roberts is asking. Let's actually segue to some B cubed stuff for the moment because I wanted to talk this morning about the upcoming B cubed things, including. Are you calling it B Cube Sunday Evening? Are you calling it B Cube Sunday Readings? What are you calling it? We had a poetry reading recently, but we're launching a new series today, which we're here to talk about in part.
well, and that's what we're doing. I like the fact that our writers show up and they come on the show occasionally, but I want to give them a little more oomph out. So what we've done is we do B Cube reads. It's just very simple. Ooh, I like the fireside readings, except for the fact that the picture we're using shows a man with an open book in the forest.
The fire is in the belly, Bob.
Oh,
Heartburn. It's heartburn. Anyway,
wait a second. When I was a kid and I was watching the on, Mom had just bought her first plasma TV, and we were watching Theodore Roosevelt do his fireside readings. He had a fireplace there, and that's what I remember.
My dad, as I interviewed my dad a few months ago. He's 92, and he listened, like my mom when she was a girl, listened to the fireside chats on the radio with FDR. on the family radio. And one of the details they mentioned was the odd thing, because you had a radio, right? No picture, no nothing. Everyone sat in the living room looking at the radio, right? As if it were going to do something. But that was the they. My mom described FDR's voice as very calming, and she really liked it as a girl. Anyway, but we have a question up below Bob from Andrew about Bob, and only Bob can answer that question. He says, no, I will not be in Oakland. That is too bad. I will be in Oakland, and I will be representing not not just in an unofficial BCube way, but I do another hosting thing called SF&SF, Science Fiction in San Francisco. In fact, we're doing it tonight. And the audio of that gets podcast. We got 2 or 3 readers. So if you're local, you can come to that and then get home in time to watch BCube's reads. For like a total of, I think, 5 readers if you combine the two. And so I will be doing SF and SF at World Fantasy in Oakland. So I'll be doing interviews and things like that. But if anyone is interested, if they love BQ Breeds and want more, readings, you can go on to your favorite podcast app and look for SF and SF, and you will get the audio of a bunch of readers reading and also discussion about science fiction. So who's reading tonight for our series, Bob?
Well, that is really good. Meg B. as and Heather Truitt.
Excellent.
They are. Heather is so high on my list of writers. The every now and then, the someone writes you a story that is so good it makes you question what the whole book is about. And
can you go in a little more detail on that sensation?
Well, yes, I will. I grew up Pentecostal, which is kind of like a Southern Baptist, only without the compassion and mercy.
Being from Memphis, I am familiar with that religious tradition.
Yeah, and I was what cost me my devotion and innocence was when I discovered that these people were all human beings, and they had the same failings as other human beings, and oftentimes were worse than other human beings. And
good morning, Jeff Sturgeon, great cover artist.
Hey, Jeff is a cover artist for our current book.
Yeah,
and I'll get into that in a moment.
Yeah,
and when I went home and walked into the church and found a cult leader had replaced our minister, and everything was about him, and he'd gotten rid of all the hymnals and put an overhead projector so that he could control completely what songs were sung, everything, and got rid of the hymnals that had some old classics like Amazing Grace or Redeemed or I'll Fly Away. Those were gone. And then okay, so I said, well, I don't like the guy, but I'm in the Navy. I moved away. And then he got in trouble for I'm told for got arrested for bothering for indecent actions with some younger women. And then he went to my father and asked my father to put his house up for bond to keep him out of jail. And I realized that probably was not quite the Christianity I thought I grew up with. And it started a whole lot of questions that wound up with me not being part of the church no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. Yeah. And
You hit the
so,
road, Bob.
yeah, I hit the road. And that left me with a situation where I was carrying all of this. And then I had also lived through if you guys don't send me money, God's going to kill me. Uh, and all of the TV preachers that had their air conditioned dog houses and Jerry Falwell and the Joys. And I decided to put a book out called Alternative Theologies. Alternative Theologies. We were going to have a little fun with all of the right wing hypocrites in religion. And an amazing thing happened. Heather Truitt sent me a story that I read that story, and you'll get to hear it tonight. But one of the things that was a common theme in um, the church was that you had to have a personal relationship with Jesus, and a closer walk was one of the favorite old songs. And all of a sudden, here's somebody out of the blue sends me a story that is a perfect description of that, a perfect example of how, what would Jesus do? You take the old saying. She wrote me a story about what Jesus would do. I suddenly went into a mad reject mode. I bought her story right off. I rejected a bunch of anything that was mean spirited, anti church, anti religion, kept the humor, and thus was born our best selling book, Alternative Theologies. And I loved it. It's hit the best selling seller list twice. Um, the second time I have to blame on David Gerald. Seems like I had a fellow show up at MissCon who was very um, offended by our book that we had. I mean, not in Montana, somebody a right wing religious person. Yeah. So I won't say what they did or didn't do, but I know the next morning all the books that I had under the table were gone, every one of them. And so I made a minor little post on Facebook. David Gerald picked it up, and I will tell you this: the number of books that I sold on Amazon in the next 24 hours covered every nickel I lost on the books somebody took, and literally paid for my table at that convention. So thanks, David. Um, and kind of, I'm like to think that whoever took the books took them home, and maybe their mom and their sister and their cousin and their cousin's brother and their other brother uh, read them and said, "Wow, this is better." Uh, oh yeah, let me get that. So anyway, that is what happened. She wrote me this story, and it just totally changed the book and made it into a successful uh, message. I had an email from a Methodist minister told me she got 7 sermons out of this book.
Wow,
You
that's
know.
really cool.
So anyway, but back to so that's the concept of the reads. That's what's being read tonight.
And
And
what
the other
time is
one,
the reading tonight for interested
6
folks?
Central, 6. No, 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 no
Six
Central, no Central
Pacific.
time. 6 Pacific time.
That's
And
8 Central.
Yeah. Well,
9 Eastern.
yeah, 9 Eastern. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to try and set it up so that when we get our folks lined up, we can plug them on the Sunday morning for give them 5 minutes of plug time because these people are good writers. And Heather Truitt and Meg B. And so when we do this, it'll be a way to get a little coverage, so to speak, for the writers of B Cube Press.
Now, is this going to be a weekly series, a monthly series? What's the
A
plan?
weekly, every week.
All right. Starting today, folks.
Now, the beautiful part is everything that I do there gets onto YouTube. And so now these writers will have videos of themselves on YouTube reading their work that they can then take and put on their website. They can put it on their Facebook feed because it's their work. They can do anything they want to with it. I even let them republish it after 6 months or 3 months, something like that.
It's in the contract. Yeah.
Yeah, contract work. But that's the beauty of it, as I get to use it for these too. So that's the reading. Now here's something that I will ask the audience here. If you have uh, a story that you wrote or you like, let me know. I'll see if I can get it read. I know the publisher, really good guy.
Yeah, you're roommates, but I don't know, man. It's hard to live with sometimes.
Oh yeah, I remember you were you slept on the couch.
I wasn't even talking that. I was just imagining you with multiple personalities. No, yeah, I did. We were roommates at RadCon, and actually, you were a terrific roommate. So.
Oh, good.
And also, your dog was a terrific roommate.
Oh, did he come try and sleep with you?
No, that's why he was a terrific. Because I love dogs, but I'm allergic. So that was, Well, you have a very sweet-natured dog.
I do have a very sweet-natured dog, and well, let's see. Will your audience be able to cut? I don't know.
I can read your Canadian grammar. I'm not even going to complain that you didn't start that sentence with a capital letter because I assume in Canada you don't.
No, in Canada they
say a real life wink emoji.
Cool. They spell the TEH, I think.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Anyway, I grew up reading British books as well as American books, and so Canadian spelling and all that stuff.
I wonder what she said.
And when Canadians say about when they mean about, then that doesn't faze me. So.
Oh, that's
we love Canadians at BQ Press.
Oh, wait a second.
We have published a number of Canadians.
Connected to BUTTERNUT and iPhone.
Bob, the machines are talking to you.
I know, but occasionally I'll talk back. But that's
where the problems start.
Yeah, this is a Bose machine. Remembering all the commercials from when I was young, Bose is perfect. They never mess up.
Eh? Says Cheryl.
So back into where we were. Again, will the people be able to cut them? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not so tech savvy that I know if they will. I know you can download this podcast off of the internet, off of Facebook. And I'm assuming if you can download it and you've got the software, you can cut it. you could probably find a way to cut something that says, I think Donald J. Trump is the finest human being that ever lived,
Yeah, that cut would sound something like, "I think Donald
and as a,
Trump is the greatest human being that ever lived." All
yeah,
from different sentences glommed together.
uh-huh. I think he's probably, he's what gives Oompas a good name.
Anyway, so
Yes.
that's tonight at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, and it is the first of a new weekly series.
No, actually, it's
BQ
the
Reads.
second.
Well, we did the poetry one, right?
No, that would technically make this the third, but we did the poetry Sunday morning.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
Ken
we did it last week.
Scholes.
Oh,
Ken
that's right.
Scholes
Yes,
is
Ken.
a great writer.
Yes.
I tell the story that one time he was late for a convention, NorwestCon, and his wife said he's scheduled for a reading. Can you read his story? And I said, sure. I used to do radio. I can read. Um, and when I picked the story up, walked into the room, sat down at the table, and started to read, it was flawless. If you can't,
Ken is a brilliant writer.
oh, he is Ken Scholes.
Yeah. Everyone go out. He has a 5-book novel series out from Tor called The Psalms of Isaac, and everyone should immediately go out and read those.
Yes, and I can say that because I did. I will confess, I have not, like Jon Stewart confessed, that he did not always read his guest book or always watch their movies. I too can make that confession that not always, but I read that entire series and was just awed by it.
Ken also has I think, a Pentecostal Christian background that that informs his prose, shall I say, and his thinking. Similar to you, Bob.
Well, yeah,
from his youth.
You see, I'm a firm believer that you need core values. A person without core values is nothing more than Donald Trump without the money. And
that's an ugly, ugly image there, Bob.
No, you want an ugly image? Donald Trump without the clothes.
Dude, don't.
Yeah,
let's not. I don't know. He's ugly on the inside, and we don't judge on the outside. That's my feeling.
Yeah, well,
we do judge his makeup choices, but that's a choice.
Well, yes, and will the audience be able to cut through my Canadian grammar? Don't worry. I have a policy at BQ Press. It's even my style guide. I don't care if you're Canadian or Brit or even Scottish,
New Zealand,
or New Zealand,
Irish.
Well, let's not get carried away. If I don't correct English spelling, I don't correct English slang or British or cultural slang. It is fundamentally, if you're reading it in my book, and we chose to publish this author, and this author writes using,
use in the word color and armor and things like that.
Yeah, so be it. I think one of the things that I believe firmly is that our BQ readers are smart. They really are.
They're smart when they come to B Cubed, and they get smarter by reading B Cubed.
Well, I'll just settle for the fact
even smarter.
They're there, and I have a fella. I don't know what his first language was, but the first edit cut through there was like, it sounds like I'm speaking broken English throughout the entire thing. And then I read the entire thing before I changed a word. and I went back, found a couple of words that had been changed by my one of my other editors, and unchanged them so that virtually, except for an actual typo, the entire story was told in the words that he used. And it made for a much better story than somebody like me trying to make his words sound like they came out of my mouth, not his. And I'm looking so forward to seeing how that story plays because funny thing I do, those looking for the center, when I get the book together and I have all the stories that I bought selected, I'll go through and do what I call a rough ordering. Then I do all the hard editing with the help of others until we've got the book, and that's when I realized, no, 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 this story needs to go in the first 3 or 4 or 5 stories. This one, it's okay if it winds up being story number 57. It's good, it's solid, but it's not going to change somebody's world. Uh, it'll just entertain them. And I don't, and I put impact and relevance and meaning ahead of just pure entertainment. So that's kind of fun. So when you read the book and open up the first story, you'll know in the first 3 or 4 stories you'll find out a lot about what I'm thinking because I love two things. I love redemption, you know. So what do you love, Cliff?
Oh, I also love redemption, and I am going to say that's tied with a religious outlook, right? Like the very concept of redemption, right? Who doesn't like a good redemption arc, right?
Core
Um,
values.
yeah, but which is not to say that secular people don't have core values. I've known some extremely ethical secular people. So, I mean, you can get core values from religion, you can get core values from studying ethics. This wonderful, I got into earlier this year, the TV show, The Good Place, which is all about ethics. And yeah, there's like angels and demons and stuff, but it's not a religious show. It's a show about practical ethics, and it goes into that at great detail. So you can get core values from you know a variety of sources. You
I'm
can.
going to tell you something that should make you cry.
Uh-oh.
Stephen Miller has core values.
Well, he has bad core values.
Oh, he has them.
Um,
Doesn't mean that the values that anybody with a heart or a brain um, will want to see played out on the stage of American. You know,
Oh, speaking of Stephen Miller, I got a rant. I live in San Jose, California, and this week I was reading about there's Gilroy, home of the Gilroy Garlic Festival. It's a big garlic growing city, about
oh, I
30
bought a bunch of
minutes
garlic down there.
about 30 minutes from my house. They are building an ice detention center, which is we are all furious about having that right close by, like in California. And the California elected officials are trying to fight this, but they're fighting the federal government doing this. So
Well, so many
that's Stephen Miller there. That's Stephen Miller core values in action.
so many of these detention centers they tried to get them in quietly. And here's something I just have to ask. who's the next occupants of these mass detention centers that they're building?
Well, that's the
Hey,
thing. Once you deport the deportables, you've got all these empty detention centers, and you only get paid if you fill them.
that's it. And who do you think he's going to fill them with?
Why, all of the authors in our BQ Read series, probably.
I believe, frankly, dude.
Notice how I got the plug in for the BQ Breed series like that? That's
Well, the
that's
BQ
subtle,
series.
subtle. We call it subtle transition here. Yeah.
Yeah, a segue. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a subtle segue. It's as subtle as Steve Wozniak driving along on a Segway.
All the facial recognition programming that they were doing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
They're going to come for those people eventually.
So I will say that my story in Southern Truths, B-Cube Southern Truths, that my story does take place in Memphis, and it does involve facial recognition and voice recognition as a way of identifying miscreants and, people out there trying to rescue. And it's about a rescue attempt from a detention center in Memphis in the future.
I remember the story.
Yeah, it's very personal to me. Right?
You know who else writes, has an interesting series along those lines? She's one of my favorite authors we have, Stephanie Weipert.
Oh, she's great. I met her at Cascade Writers many years ago.
Yeah, she wrote the very first review for the very first story book I ever published. She gave me a 4. But
harsh but fair.
Harsh but fair. And I've brought her in on a number of projects, and in fact, I don't know. I got to give her a call now though, because her last story she submitted, I sent her my edits, and I said, you know what? As I kind of just said previously, I didn't want the story to read like it was coming out of my keyboard. I wanted it to come out of her keyboard. So I sent her my incomplete edit with thoughts and said, here, this will let you do the rest. I haven't heard from her yet. So I got to call her and say, oh, by the way, yeah, the wall.
Daryl's just made an excellent point about the wall.
Yeah.
We're all just bricks in the wall.
What are we going to do? I mean, I did something I hadn't done in years. 30 years ago, I was a member of the Democratic Party. And then they was working on the platform. And I got into the platform that equal protection under the law meant basically gay marriage was legal and we should support it. That was 30 years ago. The Catholics on the and challenged my right to show up at the convention and defend the platform, and said so that I couldn't speak from the floor and defend it. I left them. I left for almost 30 years. And I went back, and now I just am now a precinct committee officer because I think getting offended 30 years ago on an issue that's since been resolved correctly, it's time to go back and participate again. And I say that to everybody. There's
I think engagement is always the best option.
It is.
Even if you're not always in agreement with the people you're engaged with, at least you're engaged.
And you're not always going to win your fight.
Yeah. But, it's a long game, right? I mean, I hate to use this example, but it's true. The people who are anti-abortion played a long game for over 40 years. And, they won a round, right? We're going to have to go back and we're going to have to re-legislate and make it past the Supreme Court to get Roe v. Wade reinstituted. And it's a major setback, but they did it by playing the long game. And so the good guys can do that too. Right?
And letting Democrats shoot themselves in the foot.
Oh, well, Democrats are excellent at that.
I know. I just wish that, you know, I wish that we weren't. I wish that we could realize, um, anytime we're playing into the Republicans' hands, ask yourself this: is what you're proposing something that is the right answer? Because even the Supreme Court back in the day put limits on speech. You know, shouting fire in a crowded theater is not free speech. And this notion that uh, free speech was allowing the Republicans uh, to have the Rush Limbaughs out there on the airwaves telling lies and mistruths. And then they said, no, in the name of free speech, we've got to let these people uh, ruin the concept. And now today, we are coming into the last week of Stephen Colbert because he goes out there and makes jokes and tells the truth for the most part. Not all his jokes are funny, but
Most of them are.
no, most of them are. He's brilliant, and but now he's allowed to use the power of the federal government to control what's showing up on our TVs, and he's the $15 million he took out. He stole from 60 Minutes thing. The the threats that says I'm not going to let you do business, CBS, if with Paramount, if you don't get rid of this comedian off of your TV shows.
Yeah, well, the reason Apple CEO Tim Cook had to play nice with Trump is that Trump threatened to put tariffs literally on iPhone components, not Android phone components, just iPhone components, right? Like a direct attack on Apple.
Battery 100%.
That was a weird echo.
Yeah, it'll go away. Oh man, Cheryl Alexander. Did you see what she said? Yeah, Trump has used the power of government to not only enrich himself, his children, but to literally just steal from America. Now, but I want to. You're an educated man, Cliff. Far better educated than I
For
am.
my sins, yes.
Well, tell us who Father Coughlin was.
I want you to do that, Bob, because you are more familiar with him.
I only have vague memories of
Yeah,
him.
he's before my time.
Well, I remember watching on my mom's new plasma TV that she had that if I recall now, Cheryl or yeah, Cheryl, tell me when we were wrong, when we're wrong. But if I recall, he was the Rush Limbaugh of his day. He took his religion to a platform to try and wreck every aspect of the New Deal and put and just destroy social progress. Now, is that Father Coughlin that I'm thinking of?
Yeah, he was a priest, and he was born, according to Wikipedia, in 1891 and died in 1979 when I was still a kid. My dad, I bet if I asked my dad about him, he would remember him very well, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, but again, he's like before my time, so I don't have personal memories of
I
him
had him
as a
down as
media figure.
evil. Uh, and we all know that the House Un-American Activities Committee. You know, HUAC, the one that.
Oh yeah, my frequent guest Deborah Ross has talked about HUAC a lot because her dad ran afoul of them.
Yeah, you know who HUAC was first founded to investigate?
I do, but you should tell us.
Oh no, I'll let you tell me.
No, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. The after Marine General Smedley had been approached by a bunch of corporate CEOs to help. They promised him troops if he would overthrow the U.S. government and get rid of the communists of communism Roosevelt.
Yeah,
And
ironically, Roosevelt probably prevented a communist uprising in this country by being so awesome as a personality. But anyway,
that was, it disappeared from the mainstream history books. It was a legitimate effort to overthrow the country, that they thought they had a general that would see it their way, and he went in front of Congress and ratted them out. They started HUAC, but you know what happens when Congress starts taking action that impacts the rich and I wouldn't call them billionaires because I don't know if they were billionaires back then, but the billionaire class. And so they couldn't handle that, and so they shifted it to focus on. Thank God we had Richard Nixon back then. To shift and focus it in on leftists, Democrats, people that they thought were, anti-American. And we have spent, how long have we spent? I think it was 1953 when Truman gave his great speech, possibly the greatest speech on socialism, that said when we guaranteed Social Security, when we put in unions, gave unions legal right to exist. Every time we did anything like that, they called it socialism. When we fed the poor, they called it socialism. Well, guess what, guys? If that's socialism, it's not so bad. But they've been feeding us that same line of bull for almost 70 years. And just look up Truman, 1953, and socialism speech, and you will get that speech. I took a meme of that speech, bought it, had it framed, and took it to the Democratic Democratic booth at the fair. And you'd be amazed how many people were shocked and surprised to find out that the Republicans have been telling that lie for that long. Okay. Holy shit.
So I've got the quote here. I'm going to read Harry S. Truman. I grew up in a household that revered Truman and Roosevelt. Socialism is a scare word they have hurled at every advance the people have made in the last 20 years. That is to say, 1932 to 1952. Socialism is what they called public power. Socialism is what they called Social Security. Socialism is what they called farm price supports. Socialism is what they called bank deposit insurance. Socialism is what they called the growth of free and independent labor organizations. Socialism is their name for almost anything that helps all the people. When the Republican candidate inscribes the slogan, "Down with Socialism," on the banner of his great crusade, that is really not what he means at all. What he really means is down with progress, down with Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal, and down with Harry Truman's Fair Deal. That's all he means. Hope I did Harry justice with that.
I think that is one of the greatest. I mean, I think that poster should be in every classroom in America, long before the put it up there. And since we need equal time for Republicans, put the Gettysburg Address up there right next to it. And because people just don't realize when they hear all of this that they've been programmed with those words on socialism from the right. That but it's not true. Socialism is just a scare word. It's a scare tactic, and we need not be scared of it. And that said, 6 o'clock tonight. Uh,
6 Pacific, 9 Eastern.
yeah,
And you can find Ken's reading on Facebook and YouTube. You can find the poetry reading that we did on a Sunday morning on Facebook and YouTube. And this will be the first multi-author weekly reading. So
yeah, that's a nice way of saying it. It is. It's our second BQ breeds, and folks that showed up, I want to thank all of you uh, because, and then I'll also give you the notion. I did the numbers on our new book. 60. Um, yeah, using tax dollars to do anything that helped an African American person with socialism, you know, unless, of course, it was putting them in jail. But
or
back to
an ICE detention center.
yeah, we're oh, I forgot my thought. God, I hate.
You're running the numbers on the American Storm.
Oh, it's running the okay. Right now we've got 63 stories. Okay, which is a lot. 95,000 words, more or less, close to 100,000, and we only have 17 that are left in full blown editing. And a bunch of them are going into a file I called, basically ready to go be put in the book, and then the ones that are in the book. And so we are on track to actually make our June 28th release date. Yeah, Jeff, 63. It's the biggest book we've ever done. But you know what?
One of the coolest covers we've ever had.
Yeah, Jeff Sturgeon did our cover. And he may get annoyed at me if I give him a slightly different name, because right now we're looking at the notion of shifting it from our American Storm to American Storm. And because Jeff's cover is brilliant. And some of the people we have in this book just blow you away. We talked about Stephanie Weipert earlier. One of the people, I think I got David Gerald is in the book. Also, oh, hell. Just let me give you a quick idea, and then I'm going to say goodbye.
All right. While you're looking that up, I got to put a plug in for something I actually like my tax dollars doing. Artemis. To the moon and back. Yeah, Artemis. The Artemis 2 mission, which included a Canadian and an African American and a woman. You know, it wasn't just Whitey on the moon.
Yeah. I think that's kind of
American Storm.
Cool. I thought it would be. So anyway, no, we have the likes of Zazalo Crane, Valerie Burton, Tom Easton. You may recall him as a critic. Stephanie Weipert, Robert Walton, R.M. Asbros.
I mentioned the Canadian Andrew.
Nadi Samuel. And I'm not reading all of the names. St. Malcolm is in there. And I didn't know it was St. Malcolm when he sent a story. Lauren Davidson. We got a couple by Lisa or Laurel Howell. Larry Hodges, you know, his he somehow managed to sneak 2 into the book. Kurt Newton. Uh, it's all somebody good. I saw Jenna Hannon Moore just showed up. Her Let Them Eat Cake Crumbs. I think I just finished my edit on that. She's probably looking at him thinking it's brilliant. Yanka
She's going to
Hobbs.
send you the 13th note saying how brilliant your edits are.
Oh, sweet. Harry Turtledove, Greg Chamberlain. And the fella that I said I found myself couldn't bring myself to do anything with the accented writing style. Fendi S. Tulodo. Eric Witchy is in here. And, oh, interesting. And the Paul Schaefer, Daniel Hero, Chris Young, his first, at 71 years old, his first fiction sale. He's a brilliant writer, and it's going to be fun. Those of you who watch our the B Cube Sunday brunch, CL Cagney, she's in here. Brenda Cooper and Adam Troy Castro, David Gerald, Jim Wright. I mean, I could keep going, but I can tell you this book has
and the rest. Yes.
is got some great talent. It even has I just don't the one person.
And it was co-edited by KG Anderson, if I remember correctly.
Karen Anderson, who I loved working with Karen, but she sends me notes on the edits, and it makes me sometimes snicker. She sent me a note on 2 of them that says, "Bob, don't edit this. I like it the way it is." And it's like, okay, Karen, wave the red cape.
She sends you that note. You do what she says because she's
wave that red cape. And then I go and read the story and realize, okay, maybe, just maybe, she was right. But the beautiful thing is, since I haven't edited it yet, I can say, yes, Karen, absolutely. I would have never wanted to edit this hard. But thank you for telling me. So anyway, we have got a great book coming out. And it's going to be epic. And
it's coming out in a little over a month.
I like that, John. It feels strange to be looking so forward to a book I got rejected from.
It is a sensation that I am intimately familiar with.
That reminds me of when I had
parcel of being a writer.
It is, and owning it. Mark Tufo, a great writer. I love his work, and if he can ever break himself from the habit of getting his people trapped on roofs by zombies, he's been on our show a few times. He writes about zombies and werewolves and space monsters, and
I like him already.
I can tell you, I have I read his first book that I read was Zombie Fallout, and I don't know why I bought it. I was just coursing through, and I looked at it, and something just said, "Yeah, I could do worse than this. I don't read zombie books. Let's see what it is." And then I found out that here is the guy who writes zombie books that are real. They're humorous. Their characters are not. His character is Marines, is a former Marine, and He's got a survivalist whose wife thinks he's an idiot for being a survivalist. And when he fires his M16, oddly enough, his barrel heats up so hot that he has to stop shooting. I mean, he's actually writing from your where you just can't keep shooting until you're
Infinite bullets. Yes.
yeah. It's brilliant. Or that moment where all the bullets that were in the case get dumped out when he's raiding the National Guard armory, and they're scattered all over the floor, and they're out there trying to pick up all the bullets off the floor. You kind of laugh because he brings real life troubles and real life situations into the zombie, um, and that's Mark Tufo, Mark Tufo, and I think I'm going to call him up and say, "Come back, Mark," because the whole point of bringing him up was John's comment. Feels strange looking forward to a book I got rejected from. Mark was telling us about the start he was on with David Gerald, how he got his start in writing and all the rejections he went through. And
I have
David,
a big stack of rejections.
yeah, as only David Gerald can do, looked looked sideways from his camera spot and said, "Rejections. What is this rejection you speak of?"
Yet we love David and don't actually hate him for that.
No, I
He's so
actually turned
lovable.
it into a. I made him a little cut piece. So anyway, but we're done, guys. Just remember, get out there, engage, show up at protests.
Engage.
All your Democrats say, "What can I do to help?" Okay, and then do it. We are facing a world where we now have uh, changed all the rules. So, once it was when we balanced out the population, we um, redistricted to make sure that we did that occasionally. Now, when we're facing a losing election, we're redistricting uh,
Mm-hmm.
with the whole purpose of changing who gets to vote, who gets representation. And remember, that's all they're doing is they're trying to make sure they keep your people, you and people like you, from getting representative.
Yep.
So thank you. Go ahead, Cliff.
Oh, that's it. I agree with you. We started with the horrific Tennessee redistricting, and we're ending with that. And at B Cube, we're going to keep promoting the other side
Yeah,
until we have to do this podcast from inside that Gilroy detention center. But
yeah. I got a funny feeling I'll have trouble with bandwidths.
yeah, well, I'm sure by then it'll be like using Trump Net on your Trump phone from the inside the.
Oh, wouldn't it be?
The
Did you see the changes they made to the user agreement
Yes, I did.
when
And speaking of Stephen Colbert, he highlighted those as well. Yes.
Oh, I know everybody was highlighting it. Yeah, that you go in and says, "Hey, phone made in America." Well, since they now don't have a phone, and they just took the people who made the $59 million on the non-refundable deposits and face prison in the future if no phone ever shows up. Guess who had spots on Trump's visit to China?
I don't
Who did?
know, Bob. Who?
Well, one of them was Eric Trump. Another one was Donald Trump, and another people I forget their names. And what Cheryl says is this gerrymandering might just backfire. There are enough
Let's
people
hope.
with a sense of judgment or a sense of justice that I like to think that they might find out that, oh, gee, I don't want to be part of something this evil and un American.
At the end
Okay.
of the day, Bob, most Americans have core values that are worth having.
Most Americans do. Okay, now this doesn't always happen, but we're now 20 minutes over, and our readership is still increasing.
Thank
So
you.
thank you guys for showing up, and I'll see you tonight at 6. And so later.